Jelly Roll has barely said a word since this divorce went public. One concert speech, one Instagram post, and then silence. But the truth behind what actually ended this marriage is coming out anyway. Through sources close to him, through Bunnie's podcast, and through one moment she had on air this week that the entire internet is still talking about. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what happened to this marriage and why. Stay with me. Quick recap. Jelly Roll filed for divorce May 18th in Tennessee after nearly 10 years of marriage. World found out June 15th. He broke his silence once, mid-concert in Saratoga Springs, told the arena nobody cheated. She is his best friend. She will probably be the only woman he ever loves the way he loved her. Then he went quiet again. Bunnie did the opposite. She went on Dumb Blonde and talked. The Mother's Day argument, the one unbreakable rule in their relationship.
Jay and I have never been really good at having disagreements. So we were the type of couple who never argued, you know, so he would be holding things in, I would be holding things in, and you know, that's a recipe for disaster. And we always preach, you got to be comfortable having the uncomfortable conversations. And we did that for 8 years in. And then the past, you know, year and a half, we kind of got away from that because just we're in a different life right now. And so on Mother's Day, we had a little bit of an argument, which I don't think the details are necessary. And in that argument, I was so fed up and so tired that I just looked at him and I said, well, then file the fucking divorce papers. And in our relationship, that is the one cardinal thing that you don't say, even though my husband has said it numerous times because he's the runner. But when I say it, it really holds weight because I'm not the type of person who says what I don't mean. And I ended up leaving. I packed a bag and I left. There's a couple other things that happened that, I mean, if I ever do write a book, I'll talk about it, but I just don't think it's you know, imperative to the situation right now. So I packed a bag and I left, and I didn't talk to my husband for, you know, I don't know, weeks after that. And during that, you know, he was so mad and we were so emotional that he ended up doing exactly what I told him to do and filing the divorce papers.
The fact that she was the one who told him to file. She has been processing this divorce live in front of millions of people, while Jelly Roll says nothing. So the question everyone has been asking is simple. What is he actually thinking? And this week, we finally got the closest thing to an answer. People magazine got sources close to Jelly Roll to speak, and what they said is the most revealing thing anyone connected to him has put on the record. He will always love her, but that does not mean he wants to stay married. He is in a very different place than when they met. For the first time in his life, he feels healthy, focused, and in control of his future. When they met in 2015, both were in crisis. He was a struggling artist with legal trouble, debt, no direction. She believed in him before almost anyone else did. A second source confirmed she helped him through some very difficult years, and he knows he would not be where he is today without her. A third source made sure to add that Jelly was also there for Bunnie repeatedly over the years. This was never one-sided. Now, before we go further, we have to address what the internet has been saying, because the rumor mill on this story has been running hard since day one. Within hours of the divorce going public, people were convinced there had been infidelity. Bunnie's TikTok reposts about being dragged through hell by someone who knew you loved them, the cryptic captions, the Nickelback lip sync. The internet connected dots that may not have existed. Jelly Roll shut it down on stage. 4 words: nobody cheated on nobody. And Bunnie's own account of the divorce backs that up. She said the rule in their relationship was never about monogamy, it was about honesty. The argument that ended things was on Mother's Day. No third party, no affair, just 2 people who had stopped communicating until it was too late. The cheating narrative made a better headline. The truth is quieter and honestly harder to hear.
I wasn't going to talk about this tonight, but while we're talking about liars, the internet is a liar too. It's the only time in the only city I'm going to speak about this, so break your camera phones out now. Me and my wife are best friends. We will always be best friends. We just got off the phone earlier today. Nobody cheated on nobody. She just did a whole podcast about it. You can go watch it. Every word of it is the truth. That will be my best friend forever. This is the only time I will ever speak about it. Bunnie, I love you, baby. Thank you for those 10 years. They were incredible. Thank you for the next 10 years of friendship and 20 beyond that. With that being said, cheers, everybody. But thanks for coming out tonight.
But But that first line is the one that matters. Healthy, focused, in control, for the first time ever. That is a man who arrived somewhere new and realized the relationship that carried him through the dark years could not follow him into this one. Now put that next to what Bunnie is doing publicly and it hits completely different. She is on Dumb Blonde this week, reading DMs from men sliding into her inbox. One guy is getting out of prison after 10 years and wants to take her out. Her co-host jokes he probably needs it after a decade inside. Bunnie does not miss a beat. Same. I just got out of a 10-year bid too, bitches. What are we talking about? Studio gone. Internet gone. That line went everywhere within hours. Then she reveals she has been actively sending women into Jelly's DMs herself, and those same women keep coming back, saying they would rather be in hers. That is Bunnie doing public image work in real time, and doing it perfectly. Here is where it gets crazy. Put both sides together and the full picture emerges. Jelly grew, genuinely. From nothing to Grammy-winning arena headliner, feeling in control of his life for the first time ever. And Bunnie was central to how he got there. But sometimes the person who helps you survive the worst version of your life does not fit the best version. Not because anyone did anything wrong, just because people change, and sometimes they change in directions that pull apart instead of together. Bunnie said their one unbreakable rule was never about monogamy, it was about honesty. Do not lie to me. Do not let me be the last to know. Jelly confirmed, on stage, nobody cheated. The People sources point to no single dramatic event, just a man who arrived somewhere new and realized the marriage could not come with him. And Bunnie, at 46, is now processing that live on a podcast, making prison jokes, redirecting women to her ex, turning pain into content the way she always has. No cap, this is not the divorce story anyone expected. No villain, no affair, no single breaking point. Just a man who came from nothing, had someone believe in him before the world did, built something extraordinary, and arrived on the other side a completely different person. And a woman who invested a decade into that journey, now figuring out what comes next on her own terms.
Jelly Roll divorcing Bunnie. Okay, first of all, I've never been a fan of that situation. I don't like the guy. I don't like it. It weirds me out. But the fact that now he's rich and famous and kind of skinny, he divorces her. You're never finding anyone like that. That's why I say, like, never meet a man in the trenches and get him out of it. Because once he's out of the trenches, he's gonna leave you too. You just gotta let him suffer. To be honest, just be like, hey, I see you suffering over there. Good luck to you. Find someone that isn't suffering. Find someone that has it kind of together. You know, and I know life has ups and downs. I'm just not gonna meet you at the lowest point and help you up just for you to be like, thanks, bye. Not gonna happen. Because I know how men are. I know how men are. And it's not gonna happen to me. That's why I always say, like, find a, like, don't find, like, a half-baked guy and then, like, love the potential and, like, get him to where you want to be. Find one that's fully cooked all the way through. And then, go with that. Because this is what they do. And no one's safe from it. No one's safe from it. You bring him out of the trenches, now you're in the trenches. And for what? She's way hotter than him. Don't piss me off. Like, seriously, don't piss me off. Also, open relationships never work, but so annoying.
He told an arena she will probably be the only woman he ever loves the way he loved her. She compared the marriage to a prison sentence and laughed about it on air. Both true. And somehow, that makes this sadder and more human than any scandal ever could. Drop in the comments whether you think this was inevitable or whether they could have made it work. I'm reading everything. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.